Guys, welcome back to the Commish Corner show. It's the live show. We're here. We're here to do things that are fun. CG, how are you doing? KPGaming, how are you doing, bro? Thank you for being here. This is a fun one. One of my favorite things to do in this entire community, one of the reasons I even do the League Crawler live show, is I like introducing people to other cool people, right? And throughout the process of coming up with Legacy 22, we went through Legacy, we went through Pandora, we went through Infinity, we went through all these different leagues, right? We went through all these different leagues, and we really got to know some really cool dudes and some guys that showed they have what it takes to be here long term. They fought for teams. They were here for the process. They were okay with the not knowing, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew we'd have people to be like, you know what, I'm not even guaranteed a spot next year. I don't know if I want to do this, but some of these guys did, and some of them stuck it out, and they showed they were worth it, right? And so today we're going to get a very unique opportunity to meet some of these guys that went through this process. So we're going to figure out who they are. We're going to figure out why they are even here in SPA. What are their goals? Why was SPA the league that they wanted to join? Because there's a ton of good leagues out there. And we got some good guests, you guys. I'm really excited for what we're going to do. There is some news, though. I'm here for the new yo, bro, right? Yo, huge shout out to Heartless for coming up with that one. Huge shout out to Knives Out for the new logo. We're looking fresh to death, baby. But here's the problem, right? I got you guys. There should be the alert box coming up. And it's not. I got to figure out why that is. Now it should be. Now it's there. Hell yeah, we're here. Facts. All right, so some quick little things as we go through the news for the week, right? The Commish team has been sitting down. We have lately been talking about preseason, what that is all going to look like. I do not have a plan in place for what we're going to do. I can tell you guys what my opinion is, right? And everybody's been asking, what are we doing for preseason? Because there is now scouting in preseason, right? Your scouting will actually take place at the start of preseason. So to say we're just going to sim through it every 5 minutes and people are going to lose on scout, we just didn't think that was going to be a thing. So now we're actually going to have to come up with a plan, right? And people have been asking, well, what's going to be the plan for preseason? Are we going to play it? Are we turn injuries on? Like, what are we going to do? Here's my idea, right? And this is not something that's been passed. It's something that, if you ask me, do I think it's going to pass? I would say probably not. But this is, I don't even know if I would vote for it at the moment. But here was the idea that I initially came up with, right? I like preseason. I like to get guys out on the field that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep or not. I like to give people an opportunity, a chance to show they belong, right? I want to give people a chance to fight for jobs. Having said that, I know a lot of people aren't really into that. With scouting, people are going to want to do the scouting. So my thought was open up preseason. Let people have a 24-hour advance, right? If we advance every 24 hours, that means we should be at week 4 or the cut date in about 4 days. We could probably do a little bit less than that because there's only 3 games that get played throughout that process. But either way, a 24-hour advance period. My thought was to keep injuries on. And before everyone goes, oh, no, fuck that. My guys are going to get injured. I don't want you guys to do that like on a sim. You're going to get sim injuries. Here's the thing. You can put 75 guys on your roster, right? That's actually what preseason is for, is to fill your team with guys that have a chance to show they can hang in the NFL. So if you have 75 guys on your roster, you should be able to sit every single starter you have and some of your backups and not even worry about them in a sim or not worry about them in a game even getting injured. But it's also going to force users to not spend all of their money on a 53-man roster. A lot of you guys go right to that penny where you're like, yo, I can't afford a single thing going forward because I am completely strapped. If that's how you want to run your team, you can do that, but you're also going to suffer consequences in preseason because you're not going to have people that can just sit on a bench. You're not going to have an extra 23 guys on your roster at that time. You might have somebody that gets injured in a sim or somebody that might get injured in your thing. Might be a backup that you're relying on. So I like to make things interesting. I think preseason right now is very dull. I think it's something that most leagues just skip right through because there's not a lot to engage yourself in. And I would like to come up with a way for it to be engaging and for people to have fun throughout this process. And I think the best GMs will set themselves apart by making sure they've got $10 to $12 million that they can pay 20-something people to make sure they don't have injuries on their team. So that's kind of where my head was. I'm not sure if it's going to pass. I'm not even sure if I would vote for it to pass. There might be some holes in it that I haven't even seen so far, but that's kind of where we're at on that. Outside of that, we don't really have a lot of news other than a huge shout out to Knives Out for his new logos. Huge shout out to Heartless for doing the new Commish show layout. It looks phenomenal. You guys fucking rock. Having said that, let's get into our first guest. DK, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing amazing, man. How are you doing tonight?
Yo, man, it's another day. It's another dollar. We're here to have some fun. Yo, I am so excited to have you in the league. I want to give people a little backstory on how I got to know you. I did an interview with Heartless first. I know that you were somebody that's been friends with him for quite a while. Once he was accepted, you reached out to me and you're like, hey, do you guys have any more spots? This is something I'd really like to be involved in. We did your interview, brother, and you absolutely crushed your interview. It was one of the top interviews that I've ever done. Outside of just Heartless being here, right? Because, I mean, he could have gone anywhere. What were the things that stuck out that went, you know what, I could see myself doing this here?
All right, so when I first heard about your guys' league, I was like, 15 minutes was just too long.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a few friends in there. Kylo, who's so like I originate from MSR.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in MSR since the first day we started. I had to leave a little bit last cycle, but I did eventually come back, and I'm currently there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like Madden leagues, I love Madden leagues. I love the immersion. I love all the extras, you know. So like I saw this league, read all the rules, saw it was too long, and then I hit up Kylo. And I was like, Kylo, how's the league, bro? He goes, bro, if you want something that's just totally different, this is the type of league. If you want to go dig deep with rosters, with stats, you know, with sliders, with all that kind of stuff, you know, to make things as realistic as possible, you should hop on in here. I've also heard Timbo mention you guys. My other guy, Amok, is in there as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know some guys in there. So I did my research, and I've been knowing about you guys for quite some time. But before I wanted to waste anybody's time, I said, let me do some research. Let me see if there's something I'm really interested in before, you know, I waste anybody's time and take somebody's spot. So, I mean, for me, I'm just looking for something totally different than your normal, you know, CFM community. Not saying that my community isn't bad, but the realism of this league is what I'm really looking forward to. The having to use a stock playbook is what I'm looking forward to. I've never been in a league where I've had to use a stock playbook throughout the entire thing. You know, it's just a lot of the nuanced things of football that I'm really interested in, and that I want to focus on and see with your guys' league.
No, it's very exciting. One of the things I like about getting guys from other leagues, like you mentioned MSR, which is, in my opinion, one of the best leagues out there, right? The Sodens, all these different places. One of the things I like about getting guys from other leagues is in my opinion, I haven't played in these other leagues, so this is going to give me a unique opportunity to get some insight back from you. I feel like we have something very unique over here. And I know that everyone's got something that they hang their hat on. I know that MSR, when I think of MSR, I think of the content they put out. I think of the grind that Timbo does. I think of all these different podcasts and stuff. It's just phenomenal work, right? When I think of Soden, I think of the play-by-play. I think of the way it all looks. So even the content over there. But with SPA, we've always been more about the on-field product. We want on-field to feel as realistic as possible. And then the content that comes out from that, that's cool and all. But it's really more about how do we replicate the most real-life aspect as is. Is that one of the reasons that you decided to come over here?
I mean, that's the main reason. You know, the 2,000-page almanac book of rules that I had to go through before I even had the opportunity to even like join the league or whatever. got the little kid over there talking, aren't you?
I got you, bro. She's
it's all good.
We're good.
I got one on the way in 2 months, man. So I'm looking forward to the experience that you're having right now. But no, man, just in general though, just, you know, the big rule book you guys have, you know, it's really deep and detailed, and I really just wanted something that gave me just a different aspect of playing Madden in CFM leagues. I mean, I'm 35, been in CFM leagues, you know, for the majority of my adulthood. I mean, I was even in NBL for a couple of years, I think for about 3 years as well, 3 cycles there. So I've been to some of like the top tier Madden leagues, but never been in the Madden league as intricate and as detailed as your guys is. And I even got a game in with Muck in the test league, and it was just different. And I got spanked because it's just a different way of playing ball, but that's what's going to drive me to want to do more with you guys' league and get my games in and get some reps in, because you got to really think deep of what you want to do. You got to dig deep in your playbook, and it's just not the same, meta things that you see over and over and over again. So, I mean, I just like that, when you're stuck in a hard spot, you got to hold on to them certain plays until you really need to use them. Instead of you can use the same play 4 times a game. You know what I'm saying? So like every time you get in the crunch time, which is not that often, 8-minute quarters. Now you got 15-minute quarters. Now you really got to dig deep and find what works for your playbook. So I love that aspect of it. And I'm just really looking forward to playing my games.
The thing I like the most, and this is just some advice that I'll give out to all the new guys that are listening, right? My best advice to you is watch how many times you decide to throw it deep, right? The sliders that we have are set up to force a lot of turnovers for guys that throw the ball past 20 yards. So my best advice is have about 6 shots, right? 6 to 10 shots per game that you're like, yo, I'm going to go deep on these ones and set those plays up. Like, get people ready to play underneath and get those deep balls ready to go. Because guys that just typically go over the top, we have some good users in this league that will just set those things up and they'll just go to town. And then people are going to be like, yo, I've thrown like 42 interceptions this year. Well, yeah, you keep throwing it in places that are unrealistic. Like, guys just don't take that many shots. So I love that you had that kind of feedback, because that's how we built the game. Like, when we built our sliders and we're trying to find that right feel, the feel is this game should be hard as hell. This should be the hardest way to play Madden ever. And I know in some of those other leagues they have 8-minute quarters. You have to. It is played a little bit more arcadey, and that's not a knock on anybody. But when you play with less minutes, you have to find ways to replicate real stats. And when we do that here, bro, it just makes the game. It makes it a very, very hard game to play, and that's the reason I love this so much. Is I love the intensity and the just the struggle sometimes it takes to even just get the ball out of your hands at times.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like, and I have the Pats, so I mean, I'm interested to see how that secondary is going to work with the sliders and everything.
We're actually going to talk about the Pats next. What are your thoughts on the Patriots? Because I know that wasn't the team that you wanted initially, but that was who we had available. We reached out and we're like, is this somebody you're interested in? You're like, yeah, I'll take them. What are your thoughts on the Patriots this year?
Well, I mean, secondary, I think it's probably the best secondary in the game. I got, 2 solid tight ends. My weapons aren't too good at receiver. I can work what they have at running back. You got, Mac Jones is noodle arm, but, the way the rules were set in this league, I can see him as being perfect for a quarterback for what we're trying to do here. Is throw underneath, what I'm saying, and, have long, consistent drives or whatnot instead of trying to throw the deep ball all the time. So I really think the 85 throw power is not going to be too bad. But, I mean, I'm intrigued, man. I'm in the same division as Muck. We're boys from a different league, so we're going to have like a little rivalry going on out there. I've heard a lot about, some of these guys. I mean, KP is in here. I heard a lot about him and how cold he is, man. So I'm just interested. I love the competition. As I said before, my son will be here in a couple months, man. So I'm just trying to go all out in Madden, maybe one last time, man, and give everything I got. And just want to throw this over here to Smoke real quick. He's talking about a podcast. Just going to fill him in real quick that me and Cool Breeze got something, coming for you guys as far as a podcast. Might be bi-weekly, but it's definitely going to be something to bring a little bit more, love to the league, especially with it being so like the 3 days. And that's another thing I love about this league as well, having the 3-day advance, because I have a lot of things going on in my life and stuff. So it's good to have that time to be able to, to make content. When you're trying to go in 48 hours, you get so many games played so often, you just don't really have enough time to get content the way you want it out. You kind of got to have to rush it. So, with me having 3 jobs, having a kid on the way, I'll have 3 days to kind of put like a script or something together, every so often with the Cool Breeze, and we're going to bring something nice to you guys.
Yeah, no, I got to give you a huge shout out, and you again, man, you just do such a good job, because that was going to be the next thing I talked about was when you came in. I want everybody out here to know, like, my goal for this show was to give you guys a clear insight on who these guys were, some behind the scenes stuff. And just so everybody knows, when DK got here, he did his interview. And after his interview was done, I told him, I was like, yo, you passed, we're going to put you on the wait list. And he immediately reached out to me. He's like, yo, is there ways like we can do like podcasts, or like, do you guys have podcasts? Or do you have anything done? Like, how can I intricate myself more in here? And I just got to give you a huge shout out, brother. That was such a selfless thing for you to come out and try to do. We made it very clear, doing some stuff like that, we're not going to bump anybody to the front of the list. I think it's amazing that people want to do extra work. But we're going to make sure that we hold on a very, I don't want to give anybody advantages for anything, right? But I also want to recognize when people want to come in and make a difference. And DK, you absolutely came in to everybody that interacted with you in the very beginning. You made an impact on every single person, and we can't be happy. We can't be happier to have you here, brother. So I'm excited to have you here with the Patriots. I'm excited to see how this year kind of run goes for you. And I want to thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for your time here in the league so far, brother. You've done an incredible job.
Man, I really appreciate it, man. Just real quick, last thing I want to say before we move it along. I think the last thing, the last thing that really brought me to this league is you spoke to me in the DMs and was like, we're like a family. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man, like that's what we're all coming here to do, to play a game, our favorite hobby, our favorite sport. You know what I'm saying? And you spend more time chatting with these fools on Discord than you do like your own family members and stuff, your own girl. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's good that it's more of a family atmosphere, more of a grown-ass man, adults atmosphere, and that's all I was looking for. So appreciate you guys having me, man. I'm looking forward to having some good times with you guys.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. As we come back, we got bad news on to talk about them Bills, baby. We'll be right back. The highest a commercial airliner flies is 45,000 feet. The highest a business jet flies is 51,000 feet. At SPA, we don't put a cap on how high we'll fly. We get in, strap up, and head for the moon. Are you afraid of heights? If not, come fly high with SPA Legacy. One league, one group, all together. Guys, welcome back. I had to yell at my daughter and threaten to whoop her butt, but we are here and she's going to get pancakes. This is awesome. We have another new member. This is another guy that came in. He was a part of Infinity. He did a great job in there. He's a little bit quieter. He has come out of his shell a little bit for a while there. I think he was just kind of feeling out the process. But today's going to be a great day because we all get to hear a little bit about him. Bad news. How are you and them Bills doing, bruh?
Hey man, I'm doing good. And the Bills Mafia, we doing good over here, other than the loss yesterday.
Yeah, you did take one, right? Why are you here in SPA? What was the reason that you joined up?
Honestly, it was pretty much I just wanted to look for something different. Like when I saw the league, actually my man Grimy, he put me onto it and he was like, yo, there's a league out here, SPA, they looking for people to join it. I was like, cool, I'll check it out. And it was honestly the rule books which kind of did it for me. The rule books pretty much just kind of sold me on everything, how y'all play, what y'all trying to do, what y'all trying to achieve. And that for me just kind of made me know that like this is where I want to be. You got 31 other people who are all like-minded, all trying to play the same way, get the best results, stats and stuff like that, and not do any like cheese plays or anything like that, but trying to make the game play the best way that it's supposed to be played. And for me, I was like, I definitely want to be a part of this, bring whatever I can to the table and add more to it.
Right. So you were a part of Infinity. What was that experience like?
That was cool. Just kind of getting my feet wet and seeing how everything run. It was a good experience. Just trying to get up with the flow of everything. With the longer time periods, the game quarters and all that stuff, the sliders and stuff like that. It was fun and just seeing how everything went, from the tokens, the trade calculators and all that stuff and how interactive everything was. It was definitely like, man, I really want to be part of this even more. Like I hope I can get a spot and Legacy because it would kind of suck. It'd be like, man, this was a tease. Now I gotta wait and hopefully I can get a spot. But it was definitely cool being Infinity.
No, we definitely kept some of you guys on your toes. I know we kept Smokes on his toes for the longest. We'll talk to him in a little bit. I got to apologize to some of you guys that we're in Infinity, right? I know that Infinity went okay, but from my standpoint as a commissioner, we did not do well enough on our part to make sure that lasted the length that we wanted. We wanted to go 2 full seasons. We wanted to give you guys this full-blown experience. And what ended up happening was Infinity became almost like a training league. We had a lot of new reps that year. We had a lot of new members. We had a lot of guys that were breaking rules that we had to get them on right away. And it just wasn't the experience that we initially were kind of hoping for. It was more of like getting guys in and training them on what SPA was going to be about. But hearing you say that you still enjoyed that experience and me knowing what's in store for you guys going forward, I'm very excited to see how much you guys are excited for this upcoming Legacy year. What is the thing that you are most excited for?
Um, Honestly, just everything. I mean, it's not even one thing in particular. Just actually kind of win a Super Bowl in a league with people who actually play some football. I think that's my biggest thing because I've been in leagues where everybody kind of play arcade mode or
Mm-hmm.
competitive mode, and with those leagues, it's pretty much easy to kind of win in those leagues. But when you have people who actually play the game that is supposed to be played, it makes your challenge a little bit harder. And for me, that's what I wanted, a harder challenge. Great competition, which I've seen already, and that's pretty much what I was looking forward to the most.
Have you got a chance to go see who's in your division yet?
Oh yeah, actually I think is Miami. Who's Muck? I think he's Miami. I know he's in
Muck
our
is the
division.
Jets.
The Jets, yeah.
Yes.
Me and him, we already got a rival going on from Infinity when we
Mm-hmm.
played in our preseason game. So we already been talking smack back and forth to each other. So yeah, I got to check out a couple people. I already been looking at their teams and stuff and kind of get my eyes on their key players and stuff like that, so I can go and be prepared for them.
Yeah, the only other veteran that you got in your league or in your guys' division is Raven, right? And he's pretty much a day one member. I can't think of a time that he hasn't been here in SPA. I'm 99% sure he's day one. But he's also a former rep. He's a former commissioner. Like he's a decent player. This is probably the division I look at and say it is the most up for grabs out of all of them. How do you get prepared for a division that you have like almost no insight on any of these guys?
Um, Honestly, basically, it's just being able to adjust quickly on your toes, because I mean that's what it pretty much comes down to. And I'm glad that men actually have in the game where you can make adjustments
Mm-hmm.
at halftime and stuff like that. Because if you pay attention to the games, and that's another reason why I'm happy we have these long quarters, you can kind of see how people play. And I get to
Right.
play these people twice in a year. So after that first game, by the time we come around the second time, I should be able to pick up a little bit more on things they did in the first game, or they might switch it up, but I'll still have some sort of insight on what they're going to try to do.
Facts, brother. Is there anything that you would like to let the community know about you before we continue on? We'll head to our next commercial break and we'll keep getting these other guests on.
Um, no, not really. I mean, there's a reason why I keep it low key because I kind of wanted to sneak up on the scene. So when we get to the playoffs and you see Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, you be like, yo, where does dude come from? That's how I kind of like to keep it. So, nobody can pretty much get any tape or anything on me right now. So that's how I just keep it like that.
No, brother, you are one of our quieter users in the chat. I appreciate everything that you've done so far. When we were coming up with who was going to make the cut for Legacy 22 out of the Infinity group, I had a checklist, right? And my checklist was, are these people getting their games in? Are these people trying to play by the rule set? Are they reaching out and asking for help on things that they don't know about? Dude, you hit every single one of them. You're not the most active person in the chat, but you're getting all your games scheduled, right? So that shows me that you're active in the community. You're letting people know that you've read the rules. You're playing by the rules. So you hit everything that we were looking for, and I can't thank you enough for being here, brother. I'm excited to see what you do with Buffalo. That division, I hope it's going to be a really hard one. I hope you guys just beat the hell out of each other, to be truthfully honest with you, because divisions where guys are all being super competitive, I love that kind of stuff. But thank you for being here, man. Thank you for your time. We're going to head to a quick commercial break. Guys, as we come back, we have KPGaming come on, and we're going to see why he joined, and we're also going to figure out as soon as he joined, did he want to start doing this UFC thing? Guys, we will be right back. Guys, we are back. KPGaming, bro. You had a great interview. You came in, you were on fire. You asked to be a part of Infinity. You came in, you were sparking up rivalries, you were having fun. We put out a tweet, and we're like, yo, or a message. We're like, yo, we're looking for somebody that wants to help head up this UFC thing. And you hit me up almost immediately. Every step of the way since you arrived here at SPA, you have shown you are somebody that not is just here to have fun, but you can be relied on, brother. Can you let people know who you are?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, man, I'm a former athlete, so I'm into dedication, into that camaraderie, into that fellowship with other people. A little bit of background about myself. I just recently relocated from the Chicago area. I'm now in Nashville. I am a coach,
Nice.
though I had to kind of take a break with the move. I have to look for a new opportunity now, but that's just something my pastime. And when I look at Madden, that is something that I look to really take a step away from life and everything, all my responsibilities I got going on, to kind of get away a little bit and immerse in football and a little bit of a different experience. And honestly saying, like, I run my own league. I played in multiple other leagues, and this is something that's truly different that really gives me that feel of, all right, I'm coaching on Sunday right now. And I love the hell out of that.
Bro, so and that makes a lot of sense on why you were so into the Madden community part of it. But you went a step beyond that, brother. You went a step into wanting to show that you could be somebody that the league could rely on to knock some stuff out, to be a leadership member here. You've signed up for the rep. We interviewed you for that too. You had a great interview for that. So every step of the way, you've done your part to show you want to be here. Outside of just the realism aspect of it, right? Because I know that you just mentioned liking the Madden side. But what about the community has pulled you in so hard that you're like, no, this is it?
So overall, honestly, just everybody's personalities has just been great and just bleeding through to me. Like, I'm like, all right, I can hang out. I can have a beer with these guys. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where I've kind of come from. Even like just to kind of the smack talk, like, I try to monitor my toxicity a little bit, but to have like that be able to have that outlet to be able to talk trash, but know that it's coming from a good place and not coming from negativity is a good spot that I kind of love too a little bit to see there, especially with my boy SK a little bit. We got something kind of brewing there. We'll see how that kind of plays out. But just that camaraderie that you guys have here really truly feels like a family, and I love that.
Bro, you actually hit my very next point. You and DK, you guys have all been great interview guys so far because you keep leading me right into my next question. And that goes into the division that you currently have. I've actually seen some of your messages back with Mayor, SK Gaming. And it actually kind of starting to remind me. I used to have a rivalry with a dude named Mocha. He played at Seattle. And it got really intense. Like, we were really – it was a lot of fun. It wasn't anything that was super harsh. But it actually, the way that you guys interact actually kind of reminded me of that because you constantly look for ways that you can kind of pull one up on him, and I fucking love that, bro. Like, I do.
So with that, man, honestly, it's like I said, it's all a lot of fun. From what I don't know much about him, but from what I'm grasping from him so far, really cool dude. I love his energy. I watch his streams. More so just to get especially when I know he's playing SBA games to kind of really go over the rules in my head, just to kind of help with that aspect because it is like a big rule book. So I do watch him constantly just to kind of make sure up on the rules. So when we do actually start, there are no issues there. But yeah, he's a guy that I know I can have a little fun with, and I know he won't take it serious.
No, he won't. But you also got some other good dudes in there. Like you got CDTINO, who's coming up here in just a second, and you also got Kylo, who's one of our best players, one of the best players I've seen in Madden so far. What are your thoughts on your division right now?
Man, our division is full of dogs. Honestly, whoever makes it out, man, may the rest of the league be put on notice because Kylo, I played with him. We played together in Solden Bowl. I definitely know he's a baller. Definitely offensive scheme out of this world. Like he does some things. I'm like, dang, I need to add this to my normal day playbook outside of this. CD. He's actually in my league that I kind of started up a long time ago. So we've been playing together for a while. So I kind of know what he has to bring to the table, but he also, too, is good competition. And for what I've seen, SK, real good competition. So, it's a tough division. and I know it's going to be a dogfight, really getting out and really trying to make it to the playoffs in this division here.
It really is going to be a dogfight. If I had to pick somebody, like I said when we did the interviews, Kyle would probably be the guy that I would pick just because I've seen him so consistently and I know how good he is. But Mayer, I've seen Mayer go 16-0 before. He's gone undefeated and then he lost like in the first round of the playoffs or something. So there's actually going to be some legit competition over there. Now, you're also a very strong Falcons fan, right?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that the Falcons were still available when you finally passed your test?
Actually, no. Because realistically, looking at this roster, looking at the whole, the team as a whole, it's in a really bad spot. Mm-hmm. So it has really good pieces in certain parts, and that could be like an appealing thing. But honestly, it's probably not enough to really pull people in to really take over this team.
Got you. So, is there a chance that you can still trade me Kyle Pitts?
Nah, man. Kyle Pitts is off the board. Really mad at my Falcons for not utilizing him more yesterday, but it is what it is. We're gonna grow. We're gonna move on from it. But when it comes to taking over it, I really wanted to challenge all through in and throughout. Like with joining you guys' league, I get that challenge on the aspect of it. Kind of, it really feels like a Sunday coaching on a Sunday, but then you add in the management aspect for the roster and all that. And, I'm not going to lie to anybody. I'm in store for a lot here. And like I said, I have pieces, but, when it came to that GM and the head coach, they completely butchered this team. So I have a lot of work in store for me. I'm looking forward to it, but also looking forward to winning a lot of football games in that process.
Dude, I'm excited to have you here. Just like everybody else. For those of you that don't know, when KP came in, he had an incredible. I feel like I'm going to say this for everybody. He had an incredible interview. Since then, he's asked to be a part of the leadership in every spot that we've gone. But the thing that sticks out to me most about you, KP, just so you understand, is how often I see you in all these dudes' streams. Like, you are constantly showing love to all these dudes. And I can't thank you enough, man, because that's what I want SPA to be all about. Like, I want people to come here and know, like, yo, I'm trying to get this off, and I've got 32 brothers right here, or 31 other people right here that are willing to support my dreams. Like, and that's what we're doing. So to see you being somebody out there that's supporting what everybody's doing, man, I love it. I can't thank you enough for it. I am happy to have you here in SPA, and I'm excited to kind of see how you continue to grow, because at some point, I have a feeling you're going to be on our staff position.
Hey, man, I would definitely very much appreciate it. Leadership is something that I'm not new to, something I captain in college for football, captain in high school, wrestling, all of that, man. So leadership is something that's kind of found me, and something that I kind of thrive in, especially when things get a little tough or hard decisions have to be made or anything like that. I'm a guy that I'll step in and be that person to break bad news, or if the guy's out of line, I'll correct it. So definitely, if that ever opens up, I'll keep applying, man. I'll be there.
I love it. Absolutely. I can see you getting that spot for sure. Guys, we're going to take another quick commercial break. As we come back, we're going to talk to CDTINO, and we're going to find out what he thinks of these New Orleans Saints. We'll be right back. Guys, we are back. We're getting through here. I appreciate you being here. I love getting to know these new dudes. I love that you guys are getting an opportunity to know some of our new guys. Let's continue this. Let's stay in the same division. CDTINO, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying it right.
CDTINO, you are taking the New Orleans Saints, bro. Why are you here in SPA? Can you tell people even who you are?
Yeah, I'm new to the gaming world. I love Madden a lot, and I've seen this league is since I've been in the league. It's been great, man. It's family. It's just the rules. You can't just pick the same play every single time. So I like that, man. I like that a lot when you got the competition and make you think. So it's real big. It's real big for me.
Now, you're somebody that also has come in, and I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but you are much like BadNewz in the sense that you got through the doors. You had an incredible interview. We got you on a team in Infinity. You did great at getting your games in. You did great at reaching out to make sure you had the rules down, to ask questions. You were great at reaching out to your reps. Your reps had great things to say about both of you. but you are also somebody that has been relatively quiet in the chat so far. Why is that?
I need to engage more. I guess I'm just a quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
Even in KP League, I really don't talk as much, but I'm gonna get better at engaging in it. I'm just more about just, playing games and trying to win the Super Bowl. I'm very motivated because our division is big, man. It's big. I played against SK. I played against KP. I didn't play against the Panthers yet. I've been hearing a whole lot about it. I'm looking forward to playing them though.
He is. Kylo is pretty good, but I do want to give you a huge shout, just so you know. There has not been one single person that's interacted with you, either on the field or off the field, that's come back with a negative thing to say. You've got positive reviews from just about every single person you've interacted with here in the community. When you applied, were the Saints a team that you were looking at and been like, yo, I think I want them?
No, I'm a diehard Eagles fan, so I really want to done. But I'm cool with playing with different teams because it makes you better. So I know I got a lot to look forward when it comes to these Saints because that the salary cap is not good. So I'm gonna be hurting at the end of the season. So I'm trying to figure out some things with that. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see how Jameson Winston's do. But the biggest thing for the Saints that I think that's good in Madden is that they have a great offensive line. So I'm happy about that.
They do have an incredible offensive line. And something that you're going to have a hard time with that you just said is something I'm going to have a hard time with too. There's some of these dudes that are going into like the offseason number one with like $100 million. I've only got 30 to start, and I've got like 20-something people to re-sign. I have no idea how the hell I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Already getting some trades, a little bit of trade, so I don't know what I'm going to do right now.
Ooh, the trade wins are a blowing, huh? Yo, shout out to you for being a part of Infinity and snagging one of those trades for year one. That's a huge get for you, brother.
Yeah.
What did you think of your Infinity run?
The first season was bad, man. I needed a quarterback. And I really didn't like Kirk Cousins, and learning the games, it wasn't good for me. But the second season, I played a lot better. I was able to adjust a lot better. So I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for season one.
No, I'm excited for you, dude. Again, you were somebody that from the minute you got here, I felt like you could be a positive fit, right? Have there been people in the community so far or things that have happened in the community so far that you've been here and you're like, you know what? This is exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm glad that I'm here.
Yeah. Even it's just the little things when guys was talking about jobs, they was helping each other out, man. I like stuff like that. I like to see it's just very family oriented. So that's big, man. That's big in this SPA. So I like it a lot.
How many years have you been? You said you were new to the community. How many years have you been running in leagues like this?
This is actually my first year. This is actually my first year. I did it with you guys, and then in KP League, that was it. Usually, I just play online all the time, so it was a adjustment period. But it's cool now, man. I'm ready to rock.
So 5 years ago, or not 5 years ago, that's a lie. So it'd be, what year are we in right now? So it would be 8 years ago. I had just bought in the Xbox. It just released, right? And then I was playing some head-to-head games, and a dude named Tom, I had played him, and he was playing Seattle. And he hit me up after a game, and he was like, yo, do you want to be part of the league? And I was like, bro, what the fuck is a league? Right? And so he told me all about, like, these online franchises, and I was hooked. From the moment they told me about it, I was hooked. How did you, because that was 8 years ago now, Madden has come such a long way. Franchises, something that's huge. How did you discover that there were these 32 leagues out there and been like, yo, I want to do that?
Well, I got it told from another friend, and I just was like, all right, well, he know I can play, so I just tried to sign up and see. I went with it. The interviews was going well. We was going back and forth, so I was like, let me just give it a try. Let me see. I know I can play, so let me see let me see if I can test my skills. So when that happened and I got into this franchise mode, I'm like, all right, well, we got 15-minute quarters. We can't, the rules. There's a lot of rules. But the most important thing was not using the same play every play. You get out here and you play some guy, they'll pick the same play every time. So, that's what I really like.
Yeah, no, it's a totally different experience. I guess I didn't realize that SPA was the very first league that you were a part of. That's crazy to me. Like, so I almost like put that in is like a lot of people, like a lot of us had to go through these roller coasters of leagues, like, and been like, I kind of like this, don't like this, I'm going to back out of this. for you to be here in SPA and been like, no, this is the very first league I've been a part of. Yo, you kind of like stepped a lot of shit leagues to get here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have you, man. Is there anything you would like to let the league know on who you are, why you're here, or anything about it before we head off into commercial and then get back here with Smokes?
Just I'm hard working. I'm ready to play these guys in this division, and I'm looking forward to on my way to try to win the Super Bowl this year.
I hope you do, brother. It's going to be hard. I'm telling you. I've been doing this for years and years, and I've never won a Super Bowl. So good luck to you. I'm excited to have you here. We're going to head to our last commercial break. As we come back, we have the last guy that was able to grab a team. We got Smokes. I know that he was stressing. We're going to find out just how much he was stressing. Guys, we'll be right back. Guys, we are back, and we have the last person that was a part of Infinity that was going to get a squad. Smokes, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Listening to everybody ahead of me go through, man, it's a good experience, man. I love the new members that are coming in with me.
Yo, it was kind of crazy that you were the last one to get a team, and then you were the last one to come on for the interview today. Do you feel like this is kind of starting to become a trend?
Hopefully not. I don't want to be last in my division or anything like that. But I will say this: me getting the last team, it's understandable. My first season with Infinity was very bumpy, so no ill towards anybody else. It was very understandable.
Absolutely not. And in fact, I like being honest on this show. Like, I like being honest with community. I don't like people to hear any kind of secrets. Tell people, what was that struggle for you for the first year?
Well, the struggle wasn't, activity. Struggle wasn't playing games or anything. It's just my mindset, my competitiveness, and it was just toxic. I'm gonna come out and, like you said, being honest is the best thing. I was a toxic individual when it came to taking losses, stuff like that. And honestly, it just came from all the leagues that I was in before, having just such a toxic group. And I came in knowing how good SPA was, and I still I guess I didn't appreciate it as much until I started to talk to my division rep from last year. I can't believe I'm losing Chef. Yeah, Chef really helped me last season. Try to understand that a loss is a loss, and it's at the end of the day, this community is bigger than just taking a loss like that. And he really helped me in the DMs. And but yeah, I wanted to say that I'm glad I'm on this podcast, on this platform, to say I want to apologize to everybody that I was actually being a dickhead to in the DMs after games. KP was actually one of them. We had a little misunderstanding the game. He took it very good, and he allowed me to say my shit, and I kind of regret it. He's a cool dude. Everybody in his community is cool. Grimy is one person that I actually had a altercation with in the main chat, and looking back at it right now, it's so silly. We're all grown men in here, and it's such a good community, and it should not be going to waste with bickering and just being salty at losses. So that's a big thing that I learned from Infinity last year.
Facts, bro. And I got to give you a huge shout out, right? And not a shout out for not taking losses very well, because it wasn't. Here is my best description for it. I think that and it's not just you, I think that as people sometimes take losses, there's a huge element of this game is broken and that played a part on why I lost. And that's not wrong. That's something that is very true. The game is broken, and at times it does play a part on why we all lose. at the end of it, I think my conversations with you centered around, right, we understand that, we all get it, but we're all playing the same broken game, and we all realize it's broken, so that when it does breaks, none of us get mad and go, oh my God, this game's fucking broken. I can't believe it just saw me lost. That's just part of it. Like, we all signed up to play it, you know? So, and here's the shout out I got to give you. When I came back at you with that feedback, brother, you did not retaliate with a reason on why it was okay. You were very open to the conversation and open to past experiences and open to growth and how you wanted to be represented here in SPA. So I got to give you a huge shout out. It was bumpy at first, but
I appreciate it, man.
But you never know just how much or significant somebody matters to your league until you kind of see them go through a roller coaster. So I also got to tell you something that I'm not sure that you know of. And that is, as we were going through this process of figuring out who was going to get these teams and figuring out where all these guys were going to go, it got to a point that we got down to our last division, and you actually had quite a few people message out and be like, yo, Smokes is getting a spot, right? Like, he's been here, he's been active, he's getting a spot, right? And I told them all, hey, the process is going to take care of itself. We're going to get through this just like we can get through. But I won't lie to you. The fact that there were so many people, some of which that you actually had negative interactions with in the past, came for your aid was huge for me, brother. So I just want to make sure that you understand that our decision was not just, hey, Smokes is this great individual and we know we can't pass on him. It was more of yo, this dude he had his mess ups, but he continues to take responsibility for those things. He continues to grow for those things, and not just us are noticing them, but all of his fellow league mates are noticing them. And that was huge for me, bro. So I want to make sure that you understand that was why my decision, at least for my vote, came down to, yeah, Smokes is definitely getting the spot.
That's so great to hear from you, man. And whoever in that group that made the decisions, I'm so grateful for in that aspect, because they could have easily said, no, we don't want to deal with this guy. He always causing problems, and I wouldn't have been surprised if I didn't get chosen, honestly, because I mean, you tried to avoid people that are like that, and the more I was talking to Chef, and the more I was talking with you, I started to realize that it's not a cut and dry, like, black and white league where, like, okay, like, you talk shit to your opponent and all, like, what I'm used to is just it's always a toxic environment in the leagues that I was in before. So the more that I had talks with you guys, the more I started to realize that you know, the league is bigger than, you know, wins and losses and the video game breaking and stuff like that. You made a good point. Everybody's dealing with the same thing, so why you know, make it such a big deal? Everybody's dealing with the same thing. So I really appreciate you and everybody else for making that decision, because I'm really grateful to be a part of this community. SPA has shown me that it's more than just a Madden league. It's a place to chill and express feelings and just talk with everybody and chill. So I'm really grateful for that.
In fact, I'm really excited to get you on for an episode, because you give us a very unique opportunity to get some insight on what it was like to be that last remaining team that you didn't know if you were going to get a squad or not, right? This was the first year we ever did that kind of thing. We had always only ever had one league, and then to fill that league was pretty easy. But then to have Pandora and Infinity, and then going through the process of, well, how do we make sure that the right people get the right teams in the right order? That was a very, very hard thing for us. For you being on the other side, I don't imagine that process being super easy for you either. What was that process like?
I'm not gonna say it was easy. It was kind of tough, but at the same time, I understood where you guys were coming from. You guys had a really solid group of like 25 to almost pretty much 30 people, but you guys knew that would put in the work and keep the community going. So at that point, I accepted that if I wasn't going to be chosen for a team, I already accepted it to where I wouldn't be, you know, mad or disappointed or anything, because, you know, SBA has been going on for so long. So I was building myself up to just, even if I didn't get selected, I would have stayed in the chat. I would have, you know, grinded through, and, you know, I thought that I might be able to get a spot later on. So when I was told that I had a team, I was honestly surprised at that point, because I saw a lot of people that were in the chat with me that were more, I don't want to say more qualified, but just as qualified as me. So, but it was a little tough waiting for the weeks go by when I watching those team reveals. I was always nervous every week, so I was so happy when I was told I was taking the Colts. So, but yeah,
I'm really excited that was your feelings towards all, because that's what we actually wanted. We wanted the users that didn't have a team yet to feel this need of, or this desire of, I got to keep showing these guys I'm worth it. I got to keep showing these guys that I'm here for the long haul. And as somebody, you can vouch for this, I never hit you up except for like I think it was a few hours beforehand and told you
yeah,
that you were going to get them. But outside
mm,
that, I never promised you a squad. I never told you how you
no,
were going to get a squad. Yeah, I know
mm,
you and a couple others continuously reached out, and it wasn't anything that was negative. It was more of, hey, I'm still here. Just letting you know,
yeah,
I'm still here.
yeah,
I'm still wanting this. I hope everything's going well. Hope your
yeah,
family's well. So, like, I got that from you. I got that from a lot of others. But no, man, it really, for my vote, it really came down to my interactions with you. And I got to be honest with you. There's not a single person in this league that's never broken a rule. There's not a single person in this league that's never had a frustrating moment here. So when you had Jordan initially, I never looked at that and was like, he's just not a fit. He's never going to be a fit. He's not doing that. I want to see people fail, and I'd actually like to see them fail faster than not, because I want to see how they come back from that. I want to see how they accept that
yeah,
responsibility. I want to see, is there growth? Is this thing going to continue to pop up? And for you, I think the first time it happened, it was like, well, what's the big deal? Like, I'm just talking to these dudes. Yeah, we're frustrated, but like, and there really was this insight from just my perspective of, this is just how this dude interacts with people from everywhere he goes. Like, this is something that for him, this is common, you know? And
yeah,
it's never a one-way street. For something to be common, it's got to be two ways, right? So if those are the places that, or that's how you felt like, hey, this is how we interact, and then you come here and you're like, this is completely different. This is not what I'm used to. Well, I wanted
yeah.
to give you the opportunity to kind of see where you would go from that, and I got to tell you, bro, you did phenomenal. Like, you did everything that we asked you to do, and I can't thank you enough.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all giving me all those. I mean, those chances pretty much because, like you said, y'all could have just said, "Oh, we're done with him. Fuck him. Just kick him." Like, you could have easily did that. And I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have been a bad choice either because, y'all are building a great community here, and having people, kind of like potentially ruin it is not acceptable. So, but I really appreciate y'all sticking with me, and I've learned a lot. So, at this new season coming up in Legacy, it's going to be a different non-smoker. So I'll tell you that for sure.
I'm excited for it, brother. Let's try and talk about this year. You took on the Colts. It was the last team available. How are you feeling about the Colts? Is that who you wanted? Did you not really care who you got? Like, what were your thoughts?
The Colts were in the back of my mind after my the list that I created, and I was honestly surprised they were the last team. This Colts team is I want to say amazing, but it's a lot better than some of the teams that were still on the table. I'm excited, honestly. This team is great on the offensive side. Besides, Carson Wentz, but he is workable. Defensive side of the ball, it's more so you need a better game plans to actually use that team. I've been using that team a lot in quick games and stuff like that. So it's going to be a challenge to use that team. It's not going to be a coast. It's not going to be those teams where it's an automatic superstar on the team that you can easily use and stuff like that. So, but I love it. That's what I was looking for. Some type of challenge. Use a team. You have to use your knowledge in order to call plays and stuff like that instead of just calling stretches and like the basic things. So I'm all for it. I was so happy when you told me the Colts were open because I was thinking I was going to take the Texans or something. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited.
No, the Texans are a day one squad member. His name's Jewel Brenner. His name
Yes,
is
that's
Chris.
right.
He was actually the San Francisco 49ers back when we were in MDFL years and years. That was the very first league I was ever a part of. So he's a day one member. You've got you as the Colts. You've got NQ Blazion as the Jaguars, and you've got DG Ice as the Titans. Have you had any interactions with any of these guys?
Not necessarily of DG Ice. I actually had talks with him. He is super cool and super chill. Like, I'm so glad he's in the division with me. Me and him had little interactions in the DMs last season. Not for games or anything. I think we were talking about when we were doing the playbook lottery, and me and him were talking, and he's super chill. The other two individuals I haven't had any interactions with them at all, no games. So I kind of like that to where it's a mystery. I haven't played any of the three, so it's actually a challenge for me coming in this coming season. So hopefully it's a good division because some of these teams are kind of tough to use. So it might get ugly.
No, it's definitely a fun division. I'm really excited for what you guys are going to do over there. I think you guys are really going to push each other. It's got a lot of users that you guys all want to win. You're all very competitive. But I'm excited to kind of see how... I feel like the four of you, the way that you'll mesh, and this is just my opinion, is you'll all be super competitive, but I think that the brotherhood will grow inside that division pretty well, and I think it'll almost be like, yeah, we pick on each other, but we're not going to let other people pick on us outside this division. So I'm really excited to see how you got this going. Is there anything that you want to leave the SPA community with before we head out of here for the night?
Well, I was going to add to the division. One thing that I was so happy for is having Muck as our division rep. Muck, me and him have had our ups and downs. I knew him in the MSR. We didn't have that good of a relationship there, and it came to SPA, and that little negativity did carry over just a little bit, but we cleaned things up, and we're cool now. So I'm so glad he's one of our division reps. And another thing too, I was gonna say, DK was in here. The first guy you talked with. He was mentioning about podcasts, and I am so geeked for that. And if he's still listening, if he's able to, I want to be a part of that. The last league I was in, they were doing podcasts every week, and they would just do a rundown of the schedule and division rankings, predictions, stuff like that. And I honestly feel like having a podcast like that, especially with how you present things with your streams and your work ethic is just top notch. I feel like that would probably grow the interest of media creation in this league even more. We already have great individuals who are making certain types of media already, which is awesome. So if there's going to be podcasts coming in, I'm 100% for that. I will do the best I can. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're all for any kind of podcast that want to go out. In fact, guys get paid tokens for them, so it's an in-game currency that we use for guys to be able to get upgrades and stuff. So if that's something that you ever wanted to do, for anybody listening, if you guys ever want to do a podcast, reach out to me. I'll help you. I'll set up the entire thing. I'll even run it for you, and you can just get on Discord, and I won't even be a part of it. I'll just do the behind-the-scenes production, and you can have something very similar to what we got here, and I'll hook it all up for you just for the enjoyment piece of it on my part, so that you can do your own thing and get your own tokens. So, guys, that is the Commish Corner show for this week. Huge shout out to DK, BadNewz, KP, CDTINO, and Smokes for coming on. I really loved their interviews tonight. I loved their interviews when they came through to even get a spot. It's been nothing but a positive experience with every single one of them, even with Smokes, who came in here and he was like, yeah, I had my struggles, but I grew from them. I love dudes like that. Like, I love guys that come in and they just want to continue to represent SPA to the best of their ability. That's what we're all about. That's what I do for you guys. That's what I expect the league to do back. So, huge shout out to all of you. Thank you for being here. We're going to get out of here tonight. Knives Out, I fucking love you, dude. Thanks for being here. We gave you the huge shout out for your logo. You fucking killed it, bro. They did a phenomenal job. I know that the audio is low. If there's anybody that knows anything more about computers that can help me fix that, hit me up, because I have no idea why it's doing that. It just randomly started a few weeks ago. Love every single one of you. I'm stoked to do the show. I am stoked for, in my opinion, in a week from now, when we do the Commish Corner show live next week, I think we're going to have some kind of insight on, or I'm hoping we'll have some kind of insight on when this patch is coming out. Maybe it'll even be released. Hopefully this is the last show before we kick off things. See you guys next week.